I've been thinking about this topic for a while, and now it's 4:30 a.m. and I can't sleep. Skateboarding, right? It's if you know what it is, look it up. Oh, there is a. Basically, it came from surfing. So you have the surfing board and the guy on the water, right? And when there was no waves, people added, long story short, they added wheels to the boards and drove around. It's been longer than just this. It's been a long evolution, but that's what it is now. And it's sport like no other. I can't think of any other sport that's so brutal and hardcore. And I really want to emphasize on that. Because you have sports like hockey. Everyone knows hockey. Most people know hockey. Then you have football. In Europe, people call it football. In America, they call it soccer. So let's call it football because most people call it football. Americans have American football, which they call football, and it's like rugby in Europe. The names really don't matter. Then you have like ice skating, maybe, and you have tennis, and most other sports. But in each and every one of those sports, if you do those sports and do them slowly and you make no mistakes, you don't get hurt. And of course everyone gets hurt in all those sports, but the main difference between those and skateboarding is whenever you do anything in skateboarding, it's so precise and so hard to do for anyone that you will have to fall like 100 times and even more to even do it. So you have the pain and you have the suffering, and you have this in all the sports, but in skateboarding it's what it is. To learn anything, you can't go around. You have to go through the pain and suffering. There is no good skateboarder that doesn't know the pain and the suffering. Meanwhile, you have plenty of people. Yeah, sure, every player got hurt doing these sports as well. But that's not what the sport is about, right? Like if you just run around playing football and nobody hits you, which in football nobody should hit you, it's usually a fall. So the sport in general, it involves pain, but it is not pain. These sports are not pain in general. There is pain, and if you play those for any amount of time, basically, there will be pain. But skateboarding is purely pain. And you have different levels. Just to push around, you will probably fall several times just to push around. First time I bought a skateboard, and I bought it late. I am not really 20 anymore. So first time I bought it, I stepped on it at my home, And immediately on my slippery floor, the skateboard just went whoosh, and I fell on my wrist, and it was so much pain. I couldn't really move it for 2 weeks. But we bought it with my friend who used to skateboard, and we went out that day. So I put a bandage on my wrist, and we went out. First time ever, me on skateboard. And I fell like three more times on the same wrist. The pain was through the roof. I went to hospital, if it's not fractured or anything, and it wasn't, which is worse, because if you break something, it's not that painful as if you just tear it or just, I don't know the word, if you hit it very hard. And that's just to ride the skateboard. And then you have like million tricks. That's like the jump with skateboard. It's called ollie. And if you learn how to ride the board and you fall like 100 times and more, and then you want to jump the skateboard, and that's another 100,000 falls. So, and that's the most basic trick, one of the most basic tricks. And then you have tricks that almost nobody in the world can do, and to do them, you fall and fall and fall and fall, and have to get up. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Because if you can do this, if you can ride a skateboard, and if you can do basically anything, even if you start skating, you already saying, I will fall 1,000 times and I will get up. And this mindset that those people have, if you are successful at skateboarding, I think you can do absolutely anything. Because if you want to do anything in life, you will fall and you will have to get up. And most things are painful mentally, but if you get injured in skateboarding, you can't skate anymore before you heal, right? If you fail at anything else, if you get injured in football and those other sports, you can't probably do them as well. But as I stated, that's not the part of the sport. Meanwhile, in skateboarding, the pain and suffering is inevitable. You can't avoid it. You really can't. There is no successful skateboarder who didn't go through this. So if you do anything in life and you want to be good at it, it will take pain and suffering, and it will be mostly mental. But in those things, if you do them and you fail, it won't prevent you from doing that thing, most likely. Meanwhile, in skateboarding, there is this guy, he has a nickname Jaws, and he went over the world, and those people are sponsored, so they have a slight financial motivation maybe, but that's not really why they do it. They do it to push their limits, which is amazing, right? You do something because you love it and you want to push yourself to the limits. And I think he torn ligament in his knee, his ACL, I think. He went over the whole world. From America, he went to France, I think. And he tore his knee because he wanted to jump like 7 meter, which is like 8-9 yards high stairs, I think. He went there over the whole world. He jumped it like few times, tore his knee, and had to go home and couldn't skate for like a year. And then he came back. And just imagine that you do something, you travel over the whole world, and then you get so fucked that you have to quit for a year something that you do for a living. And then you go back because you just want to do it. If you apply this to anything else than just skateboarding, if you apply this to anything else, to business, to other sports, to any goal that you have in life, you cannot be unsuccessful. It's just the success is guaranteed, basically, because you've done so much mental training and you can withstand so much pain and suffering that you can do absolutely anything. So I admire everyone who skates, and if you don't skate and you don't have some kind of condition that you can't really move, there is no excuse you shouldn't skate, I think. It's a great sport. You will learn not only it's fun, like it is really fun and rewarding if you can do anything. If you just can push around, it's so rewarding because I can't really do anything else. But the reward that you get from having fun, basically, you will get rewarded that you can do absolutely anything, because I think there is nothing as hard as skateboarding, but that's just my opinion. So I will put 2 videos down below that you can watch. One is about the guy Jaws that I talked about and his stair jump, and one will be from the game Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, I think it is, clip of Rodney Mullen, which is considered the godfather of skateboarding, and you will see the skills that this guy have. It's athletic skills on Olympic level, and he did it basically just because he loved the sport and money was no motivation for him, which is amazing. So yeah, check out the description and thanks for watching.